Hey guys, so as always, I don't know how well you can hear this, but I'm sure it's at least okay, or at least I hope. Today I'm talking with you guys because I'm about to go on a date. And I am very, very nervous, excited, but very nervous. And I kind of just wanted to talk about it because I think that it could help me process my emotions, but also help some of you out there. So, I started talking with this girl on Hinge, the dating app. I know I've talked to you guys about my dating journey, and it's been, I'm not gonna lie, pretty hard. I've had a couple girls who I've been talking with for a long time, and then I've asked them on dates, and then they've just been after saying yes to the date, literally the day of the date, they'll text me and be like, "Oh, sorry, psych." I don't want to go on a date with you or whatever. So it's been kind of difficult. Especially dating. I'm 20 years old. But I have a full-time job. I'm pretty much a full-blown adult, and everybody else who's 20 years old is, still in college and all that sort of stuff. So a lot of times I don't have a lot in common with people my age, right? So dating has just always been hard. But I started talking with this girl about 2 weeks ago, and we really hit it off. The conversation feels really natural. It feels like she's kind of already my best friend, and we're going out to brunch today, this morning, before I have to go to work in the evening. And I'm really excited and I'm really nervous. I think it's just because I can't imagine, I haven't met her in person, right? And now's the time where it's pretty much the last time where I'll be able to imagine what she is like, and then I'm gonna see it, right? And that makes me nervous. And it also, I think, I got burned really badly by the first woman that I ever loved, right? And that's, a whole separate story, but it's really hard for me to, feel kind of the beginnings of those feelings again and not be scared and not want to run away, right? And obviously I'm mature enough and I am adult, I guess, enough to know that I'm not going to run away from this, but I want to very, very badly. I want to just text her and cancel the date. I don't want to do it, but you know what I mean, and just kind of stay in my comfort zone and not put myself out there because I'm feeling really, really fragile at the moment, really, really vulnerable, and I haven't felt that in a long time. I generally try to not be vulnerable in front of other people. I try really hard to not be dependent upon other people. I'm a very, very independent person, and I live my life in a way where, if I were to have kids alone, if I were to build my house alone, if, I were to do all that alone, live my life alone, basically, I would be fine, right? And I've kind of prepared myself for that my entire life because I've never really felt like there was somebody who I wanted to spend my life with, or I never really felt like there would be somebody who, made me want to spend my life with them, and even though I've only been talking to this girl for a couple days, it feels like this could be something that I have for the rest of my life, right? And no matter what happens, I'm sure it'll be something that I remember for the rest of my life, right? So I don't know. At the same, I'm hoping. It's funny because obviously I hope that I really connect with her and that we can start something real after today, but also I I kind of, it would be safer for me if it was just, something that I met her in person and I didn't really like her that much or something like that, right? Which I honestly think is going to be impossible. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about how I was scared, right? Because I think that a lot of people run away from, sorry, I'm like a little sick this morning too. A lot of people run away from fear. And I've really tried hard in my life not to be one of those people. And to be somebody who doesn't let fear rule her life. Because I try to live my life in a way where I will have no regrets. And a lot of times, if you give in to fear, it ends up being something you regret. But yeah, I think that it needs to be talked about, obviously, because dating is hard. And putting yourself out there is very, very hard. Because you don't know whether or not you're going to face rejection, whether or not you're going to get burned. And even, like, no matter how many times I have faced rejection on the dating app that I'm using, it gets easier in those, like, small, minor ways, right? But this feels bigger, right? This feels heavier, I guess you could say, right? And so I'm trying not to prepare myself for rejection, because obviously I don't want to manifest that. Like, I hope it goes well. But also, like, I'm trying not to get my hopes up, not to, in my head, make her out to be this perfect person so that in reality she lets me down, right? Because that's not fair to her to have those expectations of her. But yeah, I am properly terrified and excited, but also just, God, this feels like I've been on like dates before, but this is the real, like, the first like official date I've ever been on, the first like dating app date I've ever been on, the first date that I've ever been on where it felt real and heavy, and like this could be something big, right? And so I think I just wanted to talk about that, and to let any of you know who are out there dating that I get it. It's hard. It sucks. It is honestly like I hate it so much. But I can confidently tell you that I'm very, very grateful that I put myself out there onto dating apps, and that I faced rejection a million times, and that I kept going, and I kept looking at the profiles, and I kept trying, because it led me to finding the girl who I'm about to go on a date with. And this could be something really big, right? So I know it's very hard to keep going and to keep swiping and to keep holding your head up high even after you face rejection after rejection, but I'm telling you that you owe it to yourself, right, to try. And there's no, I like how people, think that there's one size fits all for love or for relationships. There isn't, right? And obviously you have to do what's best for yourself. So like for me, what's best for me was after I'd gotten over that really big burn from my first love, was putting myself out there on a dating app, specifically Hinge, which I recommend to anybody who thinks it might be worth their while, and to just kind of go for it. That was what was right for me. But if only you know what's right for you, right? And so there isn't a one size fits all for finding the love of your life, or for, finding somebody. I think obviously you first have to do a lot of work on yourself. You have to learn to love yourself, because how could anybody else, like, if you only love yourself 50% and somebody else loves you like 55%, you're like, oh my gosh, that's so much, when in reality it's like a little bit more than half, So first things first, you should work on your relationship with yourself and work on loving yourself. And then once you have that secured, then you can start, working on putting yourself out there and maybe possibly someday loving, a romantic partner in that way. And yeah, there's no one size fits all. There's no answer. It sucks, but there's no answer for everybody. Dating apps may work for some, they may not work for others. It's a big whirlwind of I don't knows. And even if this date goes well, and even if, we start a relationship, I still have none of the answers. I have what works for me and what worked for me at that point, but I don't have the answers for you. So I just kind of wanted to put my experience out there and to let people know that it's hard. It's so difficult, and it sucks. It does. Dating sucks. I think everybody can agree, but I think it's worth it when you eventually find somebody who you felt like you've known your entire life, right? And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today, because I think this girl might be worth it. So, I'm crossing my fingers and toes, and I'm gonna start getting ready. Oh God, I don't even know what I'm gonna wear. Okay, thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you have a great day, and if you are out dating, I hope that it is as smooth of a process as it possibly could be. Thank you again. Bye. Love, Emma.